AITAH for booking to go away the same weekend as my boyfriend, forcing him to look after our daughter instead of going camping with his friend? Posted by you/additional_whereas_6. My boyfriend and I have a 3-year-old daughter together. He used to go away very occasionally by himself before we had her, and this has increased quite a lot since she was born. Not for long periods, just a night or two. He also visits his daughter from a previous relationship, which is fine, but I'm mentioning it as relevant later. He is notoriously bad at informing me when he is going away. He always claims he told me and I forgot. There have been times when he arranged to see his daughter, from a previous relationship, on weekends when plans had already been made. These were all pre-COVID. Once, I had arranged for my mum to babysit for our anniversary so we could go out. Another time, I was meant to attend a baby shower and needed him to watch our daughter. Another time, I had arranged to go to the theater with a friend. His daughter lives quite far away, so he wouldn't have made it back in time to watch our daughter. He was fully aware of all these plans and claimed he forgot when arranging to see his daughter. I didn't ask him to cancel, as it is not fair on her, so I had to make other arrangements in each case. Obviously, he has been going away less because of restrictions. As soon as they eased, he started going away again. I have never had a night away from our daughter. I had made a couple of plans, but each time a lockdown happened, so obviously they got cancelled. He says he encourages me to go away and that he's not stopping me. I have tried to explain that his going away so much does stop me, as someone needs to look after our child. It's not comfortable for either of my parents to watch her yet, just in case of any risk. In the summer, once restrictions are lifted, I have arranged to see my friend for a couple of days. I told him about it, and he said I couldn't do it on that date because he was going on a cycling holiday. I told him he hadn't told me anything about this, and yet again he claims he did and I forgot. He asked me to cancel it, saying I could go to my friend's anytime. I could rearrange it but feel I shouldn't have to. He could also rearrange camping. So I have been refusing, and he is now in a sulk. Am I the jerk for not rearranging my plans? Edit to add, I got a family calendar when the issues of him double booking visits with his daughter arose. The problem is he will only write in it if I nag him to do so, or he'll say he'll do it later and tell me not to treat him like a child. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. He's leaving you to parent by yourself so he can continue having a social life, which leaves you isolated from the people you want to see and stuck at home. He's majorly gaslighting you by lying to you about forgetting dates, etc. These two things alone are huge red flags, but the fact that he goes out so often for such short periods of time would also raise concerns for me. Commenter 2. I don't understand this. He visits his other kid, okay, but what about all the other times? Where is he going off to? He doesn't sound like a good partner, sorry, who doesn't communicate their plans to their significant other, especially when they're supposed to be parenting a child together. Ops response. Mainly cycling, either by himself or with a friend. They camp overnight or go to his friend's house for the weekend, where they cycle, barbecue, and go to the pub. Commenter 3. Have you ever suspected him of cheating in the past? Frequent weekends out, not keeping you informed of plans, not keeping events on the calendar, not letting you see his phone? Seems like he's hiding more than he should be if these really are innocent nights out with friends and or family. Can they attest to him actually being where he says he is? Ops response. He always video calls from wherever he is, and he's always been with who he said he's with. Commenter 4. What's he like as a partner otherwise? What's he like as a dad to your 3-year-old? Ops response. He loves our daughter to pieces but is very much about the fun stuff. He has started helping a bit more. Over the last year, he's been helping with part-time and bedtime. Before that, it was just me doing those things. She wakes up regularly in the night, and it's always me tending to her. He says it's not his fault he's a heavier sleeper. I've had to wake him before when she's been up from 1 a.m. and not settling back down, and I have work in the morning, just so I can get a couple of hours of sleep before work. Update 4 months later. Not sure if anyone really wanted an update, but the situation came to a head, so I just wanted to vent. Thank you to everyone who commented. So, I had a word with him about the family calendar and people's suggestions about if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist, making sure my time away was on there. He seemed to go along with it and said he would reschedule his cycle trip. Great, I thought. Until it came to the morning of the trip. My boyfriend often gets up super early and I roll over and go back to sleep, so I thought nothing of it when he was up early. I heard the door go but just presumed he was taking out the bins or something. When I woke up, I couldn't find him and the car had gone. Tried to phone him, no answer. Some of his stuff had gone. I asked my neighbor to check his garage for my boyfriend's bike, where he keeps it. It had gone. Confused and quietly seething at this point, I tried his phone a couple more times, nothing. Phoned my friend at this point, saying I couldn't find him and would probably miss my train. About midday, I got a phone call. He had gone on his trip. Tells me to check the calendar. He had X'd out my writing and written in his trip. I said a few choice words to him. He basically said it was my fault as I should have got up earlier. So I told him that he'd won and he is now free to go on as many cycle trips as he wants. My friend suggested taking the kids to the seaside, her son is a similar age. We spent the next day at the beach and had a nice time. Told my boyfriend not to come back. He says I'm overreacting, but I am done. Edit to add, he came back on Sunday. Unfortunately, I can't change the locks due to renting. He came back like nothing had really happened. I calmly asked him to leave as our daughter was around. He said he wasn't going anywhere and that he would watch her next week so I could go away. I said I couldn't believe he had completely missed the point of what he had done. I called my brother and asked him to pick us up. We have been staying there until I can sort out the practical parts of the split. My ex has called nonstop and even turned up at my brother's house, where my brother turned him away. He has finally apologized. I told him I'm still done, I just don't have the energy or the will anymore. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Don't you just love it when the trash takes itself out? The only thing you need to do now is make sure you don't bring the trash back into the house. Good for you, and thanks for the update. It's going to be a most beautiful day. Comment update 1 month 1 week later. I'm back at the flat now with my daughter. My ex is staying with a friend who has a spare room. He's helping out with the rent a bit until I can find somewhere more affordable. The last 2 weeks, he's had her on a Saturday and he has turned up. He is giving me child support at the moment, which we're just doing directly between us. He seems to think he's just giving me space, despite the fact that I've told him I am done. My priority for the moment is making sure my daughter is as settled as possible. It has been very difficult for her not having him around as much as she used to. Comment update 1 month 2 weeks later. Still at the flat until the lease is up. My ex is still at a friend's as far as I know. He has started seeing someone else, and visits with our daughter have become a little bit sporadic. It's only been a month and he only sees her once a week anyway, so I'll give it a little bit longer. But if he keeps messing around, I think I may have to go to court. I don't want to stop her seeing her dad, but I also don't want him constantly letting her down. Second update 8 months 2 weeks later. I, 33F, broke up with my boyfriend, 35M, of 8 years about 9 months ago. We have a 4-year-old daughter together. He was always leaving on bike rides and overriding any plans I might have had. The last straw was him leaving early in the morning to go on a cycle holiday when I had explicitly said I was going away for the weekend, and he needed to care for our daughter. So I left him. We co-parented well for a while, then he started seeing someone and became disinterested in our daughter. Fast forward to 3 months ago, he started to show interest again in seeing our daughter. He was single again. I tried to keep it purely about her, but I gave in. I let myself be sucked in by his crappy promises. I agreed to start dating him again. I'll be honest, my heart had been breaking for the last 6 months for my daughter, and if I had a chance to make it work, I felt I owed it to her. We said we would go on holiday together, so we started putting some money in a jar kept in my flat. This weekend, he said he would take it to book a holiday and put the rest in himself. It was about £300. I didn't see him after he left the flat. We're still living separately, so I didn't think anything of it. One of his friend's girlfriends texted me this morning and told me they had all been on a stag do. Her boyfriend had mentioned it, and my ex was dropping a lot of money there. I confronted him, and he admitted to using the holiday money. I just don't know what to do. We are done. Forever done. But I just don't know how I will move past this. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I can't believe you actually got back with him. You've been burned time and time again. He only took interest in your daughter after he broke up with the person he was seeing. He is not a good father to her. That's all you need to know. Op's response. I feel like an idiot. He kept saying how irrational it was to leave him in the first place over something so minor. How my stubbornness was affecting our daughter. Finally came to the realization that I was setting up my daughter for a poor image of how you should be treated. I want better for her. Currently just in contact with his mum, and if he wants to see her, it will be via her, at least for the time being. Third update 2 months later. I, 33F, was with my ex, 35M, for about 8 years. We share a daughter together. For some background, the last year has been a difficult one. We broke up after he snuck out on a cycling holiday when I was due to go away with a friend. I stupidly started dating him again, but I had insisted that we go slowly. We were putting away some cash to go on holiday as a family, which he ended up taking out of my flat and blowing in a strip club. So we fully ended about 2 months ago. Now it turns out he's going to be a father again. From what I can gather, the woman is past the 12-week mark. When I was dropping off my daughter for the weekend, he mentioned the pregnancy and asked whether he could have the baby stuff I had from when our daughter was little, that we were saving for a potential second. I told him he's welcome to take anything that he bought, which is the grand total of a novelty baby grow and a hat. Obviously, now I don't need the stuff, and I don't know if I'm being petty, but I told him no, absolutely not. He hasn't even seemed to acknowledge the fact that he got her pregnant when we were trying to get back together, but that's a battle I just can't get the energy to fight. My ex-mother-in-law has remained pretty neutral, and I have a pretty good relationship with her, but she's been putting a bit of pressure on me to give him the stuff. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Wait, you're the same person, and this is the same guy who X'd out your plans and wrote in cycling trip? That post haunted me for how selfish he was. If I remember correctly, this is his third kid, so he'll have 3 kids with 3 different women, and he used visiting his first kid and his cycling trips as covers to carry out his affairs. I don't know what to tell you. Your ex-mother-in-law isn't neutral, she's enabling her son to be a deadbeat. Maybe add a line in the template I wrote out, something like, I'm surprised neither you nor ex-BF have clothes you bought for your firstborn at hand to pass down to this little one. Would have been nice for my daughter, this new addition, and the other subsequent grandchildren/children I'm sure you'll both be blessed with in the years to come. Ops response. That is such a lovely idea. Commenter 2. Did you ever even get the 300 pounds back that he stole? Ops response. No, if I'm honest, I didn't really talk to him after that. Anything to do with our daughter goes via his mum. I want to try and maintain my composure for my daughter. I couldn't cope with his BS excuses anymore. He doesn't seem to think he owes me anything. 4th update 10 months later. Not sure if anyone will read this, but I wanted to place my thoughts and update anyone who was interested. I found it quite therapeutic posting on Reddit. My ex had a baby boy. Finally got the son he wanted. I ended up giving him the very few items that he bought for our daughter, which mainly consisted of novelty hats and novelty baby grows. Unfortunately, he has little to do with our daughter. He has let her down many times since the new baby came. I won't close the door, as I want to be able to hold my head high and tell her I never stopped him from seeing her, even though a big part of me wants to tell him to do one. It breaks my heart that she gets so excited and he lets her down. I've toyed with going to court to make him fight for visitation. I just don't think he cares enough. On a positive note, my daughter is very happy, and my brother and his wife are very involved, so she can see what a healthy relationship looks like. I'm uninterested in meeting anyone at the moment, but maybe one day I'll dip my foot back in. I also got a promotion at work, so I'm in a much happier place now.